Hey YouTube, how you doing? Beth here, a.k.a. Be the Airplane, and it's no secret that I love lo-fi hip-hop. I've released an EP of it, and one of the most popular videos on this channel is a video of me making it on my Yamaha SU-10. But I've been wondering, just how lo-fi can you go? I've got a dictaphone, or micro-cassette recorder, and I sleep next to this so that when I wake up with a random crazy idea, I can record it before I forget it. Most people would agree that these are extremely lo-fi, and that's due to the fact that this tape runs at a very low speed because it only has to capture your voice, not a wide spectrum like you would usually have in music, and the tape is kept under almost no tension at all, just gliding by that head. So it has a lot of what we call wow and flutter. And wow and flutter are already a big quality in lo-fi hip-hop. You get wow and flutter from things like vinyl records or magnetic tape. It's that whirr you hear when you listen to lo-fi hip-hop. Sometimes it's natural, sometimes it's added in by the producers. Today I'm going to try to use this to see just how lo-fi you can go. For sequencing today, we will be using the Teenage Engineering PO-33, also known as the Pocket Operator Knockout. This is a small sampler, and where I would usually use my Yamaha SU-10, from my research, this has a lower sampling bit rate than that does, so this should be even more lo-fi. I've got a crate of 45s here. I'm going to needle drop through some of these, and whatever I like, I'm going to record onto the dictaphone and then sample into the PO-33. Let's go! Alright, let's see what we can find. On your pocket, let me get you right, step right. I feel like we might be able to do something with those strings, the beginning there. Yeah, we'll use that. I think we can have that be our main piece to build around if I can find some nice clean drums somewhere without any other instrumentation. Alright, I busted out some other stuff that hopefully we can find some clean drums on. I can't remember. Fresh by Kool and the Gang. Does that have any drums without instruments? Alright, we got just the very... We got just enough there. We'll use those for drums, and I'll meet you over at the desk. Alright, this is what it sounds like recorded into the dictaphone. I recorded it on high speed, and now we're listening to it back on low speed, because half speed is best speed. Lovely. Okay, so we can get rid of this for now. So here's what our string sample sounds like in the 33. Nice and crispy, just the way I like it. So what I'm going to do now is copy our string sample to a drum channel, which is going to split it up into 16 parts. I don't know how it's going to do it with strings. I don't know if it's going to do some transient detection or just divide it equally by 16. but it usually produces some results that we can start with. So we're going to go to Write, Sound, click 9. And now we've got a place to start. Alright, let's go to work on our drums. Our kick sample didn't come out too clean. I have a feeling I've queued that record up too many times and there's just a nice cue burn in there. But I think we can make a kick and a snare out of that same sample. We're going to trim until we find the beginning. That's pretty accurate to me. Going to trim the end of it a little shorter. That sounds about kick length to me. First, we're going to pitch it down. That sounds good to me. And we're going to go to filter and remove some of the high end. I think that works. Alright, let's work on our clap here. I want it to last longer. I'm going to pitch it up a little bit more. I'm going to remove a little of that low end. That sounds good. Alright, I think those are both usable sounds. Yeah, we can definitely work with that. Alright, let's start with our strings. Let's see what we can do with the strings. Just going through 5, 6, 7, and 8 sounds good, actually. So I think we're going to start with that. We're going to get a little notebook out here so I can keep track of patterns. Dictaphone's coming back as a book weight. Okay, so let's make sure we're on pattern 1. Pattern number 1, just going to be our string loop. Let's sequence this up. Yeah, that works. I think that works for me. Okay, let's copy that pattern over to pattern 2. Yep, that's where we're at. I want to bring just the kick in here. I want to get like a bump, bump, ba-bump, bump going. Alright, that's good, that's good. Pattern 2. The kick enters. Now we're going to go ahead and copy that to number 3. And we're going to throw the snare in. Or the clap. Wow. That's a clap. Alright, let's see what that gets us. Yeah, I can definitely get with that. Let's see if we can make a hi-hat too. Ah, there's a hi-hat in the loop. Alright, let's try to clean that up with the filter. pitch it up. I think that'll work. I forgot to write down pattern 3, clap. Alright, we gotta get to pattern 4 now. Let's program a hi-hat. I can definitely roll with that. Alright, so 4, let's call the full beat. We got everything in there. Now I think it'd be cool to do a variation, a new pattern on the strings. So let's just go to a completely new pattern here. We got nothing. Let's get back to our chops from the strings. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. The first thing I just did there. Yeah, I think we should do that. I don't think we have to tease anything here. I think we can go straight from that to bring in the beat back. Let's throw that hi-hat in there. Alright, I'm liking this a lot. Let's see how it sounds with some swing. Now that is what I'm talking about. Back to the original. Yep, I like that a lot, and that is so crunchy. So let's just start building our beat. Let's have the string intro run 3 times. Kick enters. We'll get 2. Oh, sorry. Kick enters. We'll get 2 measures of with the clap in it. We'll go 4 measures of the full beat. And then we'll bring in the new part twice. And then 6. Oh, excuse me. And then 4 of the new beat. Alright, let's tap that out, and hopefully I get it right. Pattern 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6. And then it'll loop around from there, I guess. Alright, and here is our final beat. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed our little lo-fi adventure today. I certainly did. That beat actually came out better than I thought it would, working under pressure, and it's definitely lo-fi. If you're wondering why I didn't show you what it sounded like recording the beat back onto the dictaphone and playing it back from that, it's just too noisy. That's the answer. Well, that's going to be it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did. This is Be the Airplane, signing off. Godspeed.